So far, so good. We are making some good progress. We want to see how to configure SMTP to send mails from your forms on your website. Now, when you build these forms on your website, you want it such that when people fill those forms, you get them submitted to your email, any email of your choice. And to do that, we have to install a plugin called WP Mail SMTP. And how do we do that? So how do you install plugins? What do I do? Did you say I go to plugins, add new, and we'll search here in the WordPress library for WP Mail SMTP. Here, WP Mail SMTP by WP Forms. So we install. Now we are using these plugin because we are using WP Forms plugin. So they work together. If you are using another form plugin, you might need another SMTP plugin that works as compatible with that. But for WP Forms, this is the best SMTP plugin to make your forms deliver directly to your box. Activate. Okay, yes. So now we configure the settings. We come over here to the side and we see WP Mail SMTP. So settings. The settings are going to be entering here are the information from your live server. So either you would have already purchased a domain and a hosting plan, and then you have the information that you'll be imputing here. Otherwise, you can just install the plugin and wait till you have a domain and hosting plan. Then you can now enter the settings here. So the from email, what email address do you want it to show when you receive these emails in your email box? You want to show that this email is sent from, so let's say it's going to be sent from info at your site, whatever your site is, .com. So from info at your site.com, and that's whatever your site is. So from name, who do you want to it to show as coming from who? The sender name. When it delivers into your inbox, what do you want the sender name to read? So this is Chop and Go, which is the name of the website you're working on. And look at this checkbox here. Let's go back a little. Here it says first from email. If you check this, it means every form you build on your website is going to show that the submissions are coming from this email, info at your site.com, right? So from name, of course, we have said Chop and Go. And then if you want to force that to that every form that comes, whether it's a contact us form, whether it's an application form, or any form you have put on your website, and you get submissions from it, then it's going to read that this is the sender name when it comes to your email. Return path, you can leave that. Then mailer, these are different mailer providers. You can see Google, Microsoft, Zoho, AWS. This will depend on your host, but most likely it's going to be other SMTP. If you are using your host default SMTP configuration, it's going to be other SMTP. Maybe I hardly find people who use Gmail SMTP configurations for their website. So it's best to use your own host default SMTP, and you can always get this information from your host, right? So SMTP host, this is going to be mail.yoursite.com. In most cases, this is it. If it's different from your host, they will let you know. Just confirm. Most hosts use webmail, and this is usually the host, mail.yoursite.com. But also check with whatever hosting provider you're using to be sure that that is it. So encryption, none, leave it at that. SMTP port number. Most hosts use port 25 here. It could vary. So you also want to confirm that from your host. Auto TLS on, authentication on, SMTP username, that is your info at your site.com, and then SMTP password. When you created this email on your live server, what was the password you created for this email? So you enter the password here. And then you save settings. After you're done doing that, you can always come to test whether all your configurations are correct, you come and click on test email, email test, right? So you want to send the test email to what address? You enter the address, usually your everyday email address, and then you click on send email. Now it's not going to send because my configurations are just demo information, so it's not going to really send. I'll get an error message here. Here you see there was a problem while sending the test email. So if you get this error, it simply means one information or the other that you have entered on that general configuration settings is wrong. So you can go back to general and then enter the correct settings. Check, go through it again, compare it with what you received from your host, and be sure that your passwords, your SMTP port number is all as advised by your host. So once you have done this and it's running successfully, you've done the test email and it works well, then you're good to go. Any form that is filled on your website will be delivered to the email address that you provided on that form. That's how it works. So in the next lesson, we'll be looking at how to back up your site, and then after we'll be seeing how to transfer to a live server.